and let's talk about getting better at something. Kind of progress mostly, but I think I'm just titled the stream "Getting Better." So we're gonna go from there, but I'm excited to see where we get. And that being said, I'm gonna start here in a minute. I'm gonna create a poll real quick as we're working on it. Um, all right, here we go. There we go. We're just gonna put it right here, kind of out of my face a little bit. There we go. Sweet. All right, so I'm gonna scoot over so you guys can actually see my face as well. So what I'm actually gonna be talking about in the stream is getting better at something, having progress in something that you do. And progress, a great way of having progress, a great way of learning and getting better at something is actually one, spending time failing in that. If you never fail, you don't really ultimately get any progress from that. And the reason is because I've learned so much of what I need to do now. I've learned so much of what I've done wrong because I have failed in something. Let's see. I would like to move Can I move it down here? I'm gonna move it right there. Mobile users, am I right? There we go. All right. So yeah, the best way to actually have progress in something is by to fail ultimately. And so I want to start by saying, at my first job, right? Well, not my first job, my second job, I was a cook, and I still am a cook at that second job. And here's how I learned: is the first month I spent learning one dish. When I was trying to learn to be a cook, I spent 1 month learning one dish, and that first dish was enchiladas. I work in a Mexican restaurant, so that's what I started. So I started to work really hard to learn that dish, and I didn't want to ask my boss constantly to make a lunch for me. I wanted to be able to make my own lunch. Hello, welcome to the stream, everybody. I am not going to say how old I am, so sorry, but I'm not going to say how old I am. And so, anyways, I learned that first dish at so I could make that for my own lunch. I could start making my own lunch and all this stuff, and it was really nice to be able to go and make my own lunch. I didn't have to worry about someone else going and make my own lunch for me. So that was the only lunch I made for like a month, was enchiladas. And that's because that's the only one I knew how to. After that, I worked so hard to start figuring out how to get better. I told my boss finally, said, "Hey, I'm ready. I'm ready to finally be a cook now. Would you teach me how?" And he said, "Yes." But here's the reason why I actually learned how to be a cook is not only because I was taught really well, but because I was taught to be, anyways, that's strange. Everyone's just spamming hi. That is the strangest comment section, for real. Anyway, so I learned because I failed so many times. If I never failed a single dish when I was making it, there are so many times I would make something and my boss would say, "Hey, you've done that the wrong way. Let me show you how to do that." He would stress it so much, like, "Hey, this is not okay. You need to do it better. Next time, do not forget, you need to add this, because the customers outside, they will come to me if you mess it up. Not me. That's what my boss was telling me, right? They will come to him if I mess up, because they know he's the cook. They don't know I'm the cook, right?" And so that was the one thing that I really learned well. But we're going to go on the side of YouTube real quick. So right now we have a 62%. You guys voted yes on becoming a great YouTuber, wanting to become a great YouTuber. And so here's the thing. I'm going to start here is wanting to become a great YouTuber. The main thing you need to have when you're trying to become a great YouTuber is consistency in your videos. It's going to get discouraging. It's going to bring you to a place of, I'm really frustrated right now. I'm not getting any subscribers. I'm not getting any views. But the best thing you can possibly do is continue to stay consistent in live streaming and posting videos. And anything you want to do, just continue to stay consistent. If you will not stay consistent in that, you cannot become a great YouTuber. If you go and look at every great YouTuber right now, they are consistent with their videos. Now, their upload schedule might be a little bit different than what you're dreaming of, but they always stay consistent. And without consistency, your YouTube channel is nothing. Doesn't matter how much content you put out. You could put out great content someday. Could be amazing content. Everyone's like super entertained. They're watching your whole video. They subscribe. But if for the next 2 months you post no content, or the next 2 months kind of like so-and-so content, and you don't have actually good, I guess, you don't stay consistent with it, then no one's going to continue to watch your content. People are going to unsubscribe. And so here's the thing I would recommend most of all is consistency is first. You always stay consistent with your content. If you cannot stay consistent on YouTube, you cannot do anything else. And people always go and watch these big, long-form videos from other creators, and they always ask how to get a lot of subscribers on YouTube. These other YouTubers are trying to show you how to exploit the algorithm, or how to do this or this. The best thing you could possibly do is focus on what are you best at? What is a passion that you follow? Okay. If they're telling you go out and make RC car videos, then you may not be good at RC cars. You may not like RC cars. And they're over here telling you, this is what you have to do to get more money. This is what you have to do to get subscribers. It starts with being consistent at something you enjoy. If I hopped on here to do a live stream and I didn't actually enjoy teaching something, then it would be really difficult for me to keep going, especially when it gets discouraging. When you have people, coming on here and telling you you're a bad YouTuber on top of you're making videos that you don't like, the discouragement level is all the way up here. When you're making videos you like and you face a little bit of discouragement, it's a lot easier to get past that discouragement. Now, here's the thing. All right, stay consistent, first of all. And second, find something that you're passionate about and then start being on YouTube for that. Now, here's the difficulty is you're going to hop on YouTube, and for a little while, you're going to start realizing that you're not going to get views, you're not going to get subscribers, your videos are going to not be going great. But I will tell you, it's actually around the 200, closer to 300 subscriber mark that YouTube actually starts to publish your content, bring it out to a further audience, right? When I first started, I started with 2 likes. My shorts would make 2 likes. Sometimes I would even get 0 likes. And I wasn't getting super discouraged at that point because I wasn't ready for what more could come. Now I'm getting like 22 likes and I've got 280 subscribers, right? And so here's the thing you got to focus on is if I quit YouTube a year ago, I would not be at the place I am right now. And so consistency has brought me to this place right now where I am, where I can continue to make videos and get more likes on these videos. My live streams actually used to always get less than 100 subscribers, or 100 subscribers, 100 views. They would always get like 80, maybe 80 views. Now they're averaging above 100, and here's the reason why. I can tell you confidently the reason why is because I'm staying consistent with my live streams. I'm live streaming every single day. Instead of live streaming, once a month or so, maybe, what you really got to do is focus on, what you're passionate about, stay consistent. All right, here's the third thing you can do. Well, the third thing you can do on YouTube is, ultimately, let me say, you're going to face discouragement. Absolutely. You're going to face discouragement. And here's the best thing to do from here is probably don't go and talk to a friend because they're not going to have the best advice to help you. I would say the best thing you can possibly do is all right, there's two sides of content. There's an entertainment side and there's an education side. The entertainment side, people oftentimes are stuck on, the entertainment side gets a lot of views. Being an RC YouTuber is quite easy because you got a lot of views, a lot of likes. Now, you can go on to the other side, which is education. The education side is content that people really only watch when they're bored, does not get many views, but that's the side of content I like doing. I like doing educational side. So, why do you ask, why are you doing a educational live stream and why are you doing entertainment shorts? That's the thing that I'm here to tell you about. So, entertainment shorts are a great way to get subscribers. Now, here's the best thing I would say to do is entertainment falls in a wide category, okay? I've hit it right on with RC because there's a lot of people that like RC. There's a lot of RC fans out there. Whereas if you're trying to find something entertaining and you go out and do some cringy, edit video, maybe that might not go as well as me posting RC videos. Now, here's the thing. I would never expect when I posted my first RC video for that first RC video to lead to this moment. Okay? My first video was some really cringy. I was riding a go-kart and I had my GoPro on my chest here. All you could see is the steering wheel. And I was going around this track and I actually said in the video was, would you ride this? And you couldn't even see what I was driving. You could literally only see the steering wheel and you could see the tops of the trees. That was my first video. Now, to this point, now I'm making videos on my RC cars. I'm spending, hundreds of dollars on RC cars, but I never would have thought this moment would have brought me here. If I stopped posting, there was someone that came on my channel, one of my old shorts, and they had said, you're trash at YouTube, you should give up, you should quit. And I didn't take that. I didn't take that for advice because I literally just kind of kept that with me, but I kept it with me and left it for encouragement. Every time I would feel like my YouTube account isn't going good, everything's not going good, I can go back there and say, okay, I have 15 subscribers. This person told me to quit YouTube and that my YouTube channel was trash. And now I'm at 150 subscribers and they're not there anymore. Of course, no one's going to be here to tell me I'm trash when you're at 280. When you first start out on YouTube, people are going to seek to destroy you. People are going to seek to bring you down. When you start getting to, eventually, if you put in the consistency, the time, if you have passion for YouTube, then when you're at, say, 1,000 subscribers, no one's going to come to you and be like, you're trash at YouTube, right? They're going to have their own opinions about you. But when you're here, they're not going to do that. When you're all the way down here, they're going to. And so I would say even the first 50 subscribers, the first 100 subscribers is going to be the most discouraging times you can have during making videos. So here's what I would recommend. Here's exactly what I would recommend. And this is the way I've done it, and it worked really well for me. Again, not because it works well for me does not mean it'll work well for you. So you got to focus on what works best for you. I'm going to give you guys some tips on what worked best for me, and you guys can use these if you guys want to help you and your YouTube channels. All right, so here's the first thing I did. As soon as I started YouTube, I immediately started putting out shorts. Shorts are the best way to get subscribers. Now, here's the thing I would say with shorts, though, is immediately seek to go and actually engage with your audience. Do not make a video that's all about you and what you're doing, okay? Go and make a video that's about your audience, okay? Help them engage in some way. Like the video for this. Subscribe for the video for this. Now, that's for the entertainment side. Do that while you're working on figuring out what you want to be, right? Pick a category, okay? When you're making videos, shorts on YouTube, pick a category. What's your category? What category do you want to choose? For me, I chose RC. You can do multiple different things. You can do, maybe you're a mystery box YouTuber, or it just depends on what you want to do. But make that your one thing you focus on in shorts and focus on as much as you can, okay? If I was doing RC, I wouldn't want to be doing RC and airsoft and educational shorts. And you don't want to confuse your audience on what you actually do as a YouTuber. You want them to be focused on, okay, this is what he does. For me, it's RC. It's clear. I do RC videos. And so when people see that, they're like, okay, this is the videos he does. I'm interested in RC. I can subscribe, right? If they're like, well, he has a mix of RC and education, I'm not sure I really like the education side of things. People are less likely to subscribe at that point. Now, here's what you want to do: is find one category as far as it goes, entertainment, and then post as many of those shorts as you possibly can. Long form videos, it's good to have a couple here and then. Don't go crazy on long form videos. Focus on shorts. All right, now what you're gonna do from here is focus on these shorts, and once you get to 50 subscribers, the best thing you can possibly do is start live streaming. Live streaming has got me from about 50 to probably 200 subscribers. It has given me an extra 200 subscribers. Like, I'm not kidding. Live streaming is a huge way. And also, when you get monetized, you'll already want to be live streaming, because most of the money you're going to get when you're monetized at 500 subscribers is actually from the live stream. So you're going to get money from people donating to your channel, super chats, stuff like that. Now, you don't get more money until you get to 1,000. So the best thing to do is start at 500. Start live streaming so you can make your way up to 500. And then from there, stay as encouraged as you possibly can, because it's going to be a long road till you get to 500 subscribers. I've been lucky to get as close as I am to 500 subscribers. I've been really lucky, but it's not just been luck. It's also been, I've looked at something. I said, okay, one of these videos did not do well. This video did really well. I'll compare the two videos. What needs to change in this video? What needs to change in this video? And I don't only focus on my videos too, right? I go out and look at other people's videos, say, okay, this person did their RC car video different than I did mine. How is that? Okay, I like that technique. I don't like that technique a little bit. I would change that, but sure, right? And so you go and look at your own RC videos, and you go and look at other people's RC videos and compare them. What do I need to change? And so that's part of the reason where I am right now, is because I've constantly changed my videos. I've always brought in something new. Maybe I didn't like this piece. Let's go bring in this piece, right? So constantly changing something is always great. So to take away from all this, anyways, so yeah, I'm going to go from there. Live streaming. I've made it to 280 subscribers. I am on my way to 300 subscribers. Now, here's the best thing you can possibly do, okay? If you're trying to get to 500 subscribers, the best thing you can do is just slow down. Focus on trying to get 500 subscribers in 3 or 4 years. Do not try to get 500 subscribers in 1 year. The more you focus on subscribers, the more it'll stress you out. Right now, I'm just trying to make this video to teach you guys something. I've learned something in my life from doing YouTube, and I want to teach you guys what you guys can do to become better. Now, I'm not a huge YouTuber yet. I'm only at 280 subscribers, but I'm already starting to learn something. All right, now, to follow along with the best possible algorithm, the best thing you can possibly do is post a short every other day. What seems weird to me is I posted a short every day, and I do not get as many views every day for each short as I do every other day. Every other day allows it to kind of refresh and get you more views. I'm not quite sure why, but that's just something I've discovered. Now, you can do a short one day, and the next day you can post a short, it'll go great. But when you post a short a third day in a row, it will get like almost 0 views. So what you have to do is you kind of have to space it out. Also, with live streaming, funny enough, I've actually found it is better to live stream every single day than to do it every other day. Live streaming every other day is just strange, but it just doesn't bring your channel out far. You get more views by doing it every day. You get more watch hours. That's another thing with live streaming. It gives you watch hours and more subscribers. You're gonna need watch hours to get monetized. You need like 3,000 watch hours. So like I said, plan on getting to 500 subscribers. Plan on getting monetized in 3 or 4 years instead of trying to get monetized in 1 or 2 years. It's gonna take a long time. But with consistency, hard work, you have passion, you enjoy it, focus on doing these things, right? Focus on being the best you can be. Focus on putting out as many videos as possible. Focus on putting out good videos. Don't go and spend like 2 minutes on a video and say, all right, that's good. Focus on, maybe you need to fix the editing style. Maybe you need to add some, some cuts, or, add some cuts. I guess add some, there's a word I'm looking for and I can't find it. What is it? fades. Anyways, that's kind of what I'm trying to get to. And so ultimately, just don't let the discouragement get to you. I know it's going to get to you at some point. If you're trying to be a great YouTuber, it's going to get to you at some point. I guarantee it. It has every other great YouTuber. So you need to just get out of that discouragement somehow. The best way to do that is just go and post another video. Learn something from your video. If you're really discouraged at the way your channel is doing, go and look at that discouragement and try to fix something. Why am I discouraged? What's going on? Okay, people did not like this video. Why did they not like this video? Let's go and fix that. Okay, let's go and change this, switch it around, go make something different. That's most likely why you're discouraged. It's most likely why it's not doing well. It's because either you're not staying consistent, have a consistent schedule. Now, here's what I used to do. On my channel, I used to put, I'm doing a video every Monday and Friday. Now, I did not like having it that way because if I was on vacation on Monday and people looked at my channel and said, oh, he's supposed to post a video today, and I didn't post a video, I'm likely to lose subscribers. If you just have your normal channel page, mine is just details matter. That's it. Just details matter. People can look at my channel. I don't have any, this is when I'm uploading videos. This is when I'm doing it. So if for whatever reason I don't stay consistent for one day, people are not going to get mad at me. Right? And so consistency is number one. Having passion is number two. Do something you're passionate about. 3 is just the discouragement's going to bite you, but don't let it hit too hard. Just keep going. Keep posting content. And 4 is live stream. You need to live stream once you get to 50 subscribers. Live streaming is just so important. So that's one thing. So now we've gone to YouTube. I want to go to some other places in life where you could really use some, I guess, you could do better at certain things in life. One of those things you can do better at is maybe your job. And this is something I like to talk about a lot because I have some really good work ethic, and it's nothing to brag, but it's only to try to, teach you guys what I know if I can. And that is the first thing you can do to have great work ethic is show up on time. That's the first thing you can do. If you can't show up on time, even that, you can't even show up on time, here's what I would recommend. For your job, you should at least be showing up 10 minutes early. 10 minutes. It gives you time. Okay, if you need to be there at 1:30, you should be there by 1:20. That extra 10-minute waiver, in case something happens when you're getting ready, hey, I gotta go to work. Oh, shoot, I forgot to do this. It gives you 10 minutes to prepare just in case. I always try to show up to work 10 minutes early, and it really just shows your work ethic from that point. If you show up early, if you care about the job, all right, so that's the first thing, is show up early to your job. Second is, honestly, I know how hard it can be. Some people really hate their jobs, and I understand where you're coming from. I totally do. I've had one of those jobs that I hated. Second thing is just be as positive as you possibly can. And I know that can be really difficult with a job you hate. It can be super difficult, but the best thing I can possibly do is walk into work and start joking around, making a joke, It doesn't have to be like, why the chicken cross the road? Not that kind of joke. But I've always found a way to joke with someone personally, Last year it was the bartender in the bar. My job was to go wash the glasses and then bring them in the bar. Now, the joke I had with her was, she said, I think you broke a glass. And then every time after that, I'd go to her and say, when I'd bring back the whole tray of glasses, I would say, oh, hang on, let me break one before I give it to you. And that was just our joke. We would joke about that for, months. And that was just our joke. And so that's something personal. I could joke with that person and make sure they weren't getting mad at me for anything. And so anyways, and then I would go to my boss and we'd joke about something, and I would remember that joke and continue on with that joke. And that's something you can do, is find something personal, just something, I would just say something randomly out of the blue, like something funny, like sing something funny or say something funny, and that would be my joke for the rest of the year. And last year it was marinating turkey in Red Bull, because we were talking about how the turkey always makes you tired after Thanksgiving, and we were talking about how we should marinate it in Red Bull to keep you from getting tired. And that was our joke last year. And so we had the turkey. We actually did that this year, but that was a joke, right? And so try to create as positive of an attitude as you possibly can. I've walked into work and immediately I'd clock in and then go to someone and then immediately try to make that person, try to make them laugh. Go one of the customers. even coworkers, but sometimes you can kind of look at a customer and say, all right, this customer, they're having a pretty good day. I can go and make them laugh, you know? And that was kind of my goal is I would walk in and actually one of the jokes I made was I would walk in and I don't know why. This is a joke I had. I started to notice my boss, he had his shoes on the opposite feet. And I asked him about it. He said, oh yeah, I do it on purpose because when I'm going really fast, it's really easy for me to slow down when I have them on the opposite feet. I'm not sure why he said that or if it's even true. But anyways, so I walked outside and I saw this group of probably like 4 people at one table. And I went out and I went into the bar where they couldn't see me and I switched my shoes. And then I walked over to them and said, hey guys, I have a quick question for you. What do you guys think of my shoes? And it was meant to be a joke, but none of them got the joke at all. Like every single one of them were like, oh, your shoes are on backwards. I was like, oh, really? None of them laughed. I was the only one laughing. And so after that, I walked into the kitchen and I told my boss and we were both laughing so hard. But it's the kind of thing, is I tried to make a joke and it didn't go so well for me. But in the end, I was still laughing with somebody else. Not I wasn't the way I intended it. It didn't quite go, but that's fine. And then so many times a coworker will come into work. They'll come in kind of frustrated or ready to start their job, and I'll always start with one person. I have them. They always walk in and I say, "My man." And that's just the thing I do. So he started calling me my boy. And every time he walks in, we both just start with that. I don't know why, but I started calling him Matthew. I know his name is like Brad, but I called him Matthew. And that's been an ongoing joke, right? And so I try to create as much positivity as I possibly can at work, whether that's in complimenting somebody, whether that's just honestly saying something as stupid as I possibly can, and then getting someone to laugh. But I just try to create positivity at work. And it makes it a lot easier when other people around you are being positive and you're trying to be positive than when it's just you trying to be positive. But even at a job I hated, I used to work at a store and I kind of hated that job. I hated it. But one time I had someone come in and they had, they had like really nice shoes on. Okay. It was like, I like your shoes. So I went up to that person and said, hey, I like your shoes. Those are cool shoes. And it kind of started a story. I said, oh yeah, my grandkids gave me them for Christmas or something along that line, right? And he started talking about this whole story. I realized after that conversation, I started to really like my job. And here's what I did after that. I started to go and compliment customers, hey, I like your glasses, in order to help me kind of enjoy my job. And then I would start to go and compliment coworkers, make jokes with coworkers, make jokes with customers. And then eventually people would come in and out and say, hey, you're an awesome kid, you do great at this job. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much. I would be as positive as I can. Even at the job I hated, I would find a way to be positive. And people really enjoyed that. People really liked that. And so I'm going to get rid of this poll real quick. We had some good votes on that one, though. We had 57% of people said yes, 24% of people said no, and 24% of people said maybe, and 19% of people said no. So I think that was pretty good. And the question was, do you dream of becoming a great YouTuber? So yeah, that was pretty good. From here, I've honestly learned so much of work ethic, and work ethic, most of all, is consistency. I love being able to show up to work and stay consistent, do the same thing every single day. Have a system. Nothing changes. You don't walk in and say, oh, by the way, today, instead of a dishwasher, instead of a cook, you're going to go out and be a waiter. I like to have my job. This is what I do for my job. It stays the same way every single day. Now, it really, really helps when I go to work that my boss, he focuses on positivity. One time he said to me, when you're running a business, it's always more important to care about your customers, your employees first. Your employees always go first. Customers always go second. And here's the reason why. If your employees can't be happy, then they're not going to be nice to the customers, right? And so he was saying he does this is he'll come to us and whatever you guys want to eat, whatever you guys want to drink is yours for the whole day. Being a cook, I can go and cook whatever I want. I can go and cook a T-bone steak. I can go and cook a New York steak. I can go and cook whatever. And I can eat this for lunch. I can eat it for dinner whenever I want it. My boss's his only thing was don't waste it. If you're gonna cook it, eat it. Do not waste it. You can even put it in a to-go box for later, but do not waste it. And so I've learned this lesson, and I've started to think more of the mind of a businessman. And here's the reason why, is because so many people take advantage of this. So many coworkers are like, oh, I can have the biggest steak I want. Yeah, give me a nice steak. I start to think of from the eyes of a businessman, what is it like? You know. Okay, I'm just gonna say this real quick. From a owner, their point is, how much money can I save? How much money can I put back into the business? From the eyes of an employee, they're focused on, how much money can I make by the end of the day? The owner, in their eyes, it's nothing about how much money can I take home. It's more about how much money can I put back into the business to keep the business alive. They have to. They have to pay bills. They have to pay, taxes. They have to pay this and this and this. All of the pressure is on the owner, not the employee. The employee has no pressure whatsoever. They have the pressure to do a good job and to work to keep the business going, but the owner has the most stress, right? And so when I started to realize, oh, now I see how much is on my boss's shoulders, right? Now I start to understand how much he actually cares about. He really cares about his business, to the point when he goes to eat a meal, he'll eat a tortilla with like lettuce and pico de gallo, and that's it. And he'll eat that for lunch. And I'm over here eating some huge plate of, I don't know, enchiladas or something. Kind of makes me feel bad. Kind of wonder, wait a second, I can have whatever I want to eat. He's told me I can. But at this point, am I just stealing money from his restaurant? And he's done that to make me happy. He's done that to make his employees happy. Stay here with me. You can have as many shift meals as you want. People take advantage of this. I've seen so many people come into work. They'll work there for a few months and then quit, go somewhere else, and then they'll come back and say, "Hey, I'm ready to work for you." He's like, "Sorry, position's already filled. We don't have no more room." They'll ask. They had someone come in and remind him 6 times. Came in 6 times and reminded him, "Hey, by the way, if you need any help, I'm here for you. I'm sorry I left you. I really screwed you up. I'm so sorry. I'm here. I'm gonna help you. I'm here for you." And he was like, "Sorry, chances already gone. We've already got help." And so people take advantage of that too much. People take advantage of the free shift meals, the free drinks, and then they realize after they left, oh, that job was actually a really good job. The environment was positive. I got as many shift meals as I wanted. I got as many drinks as I wanted. The boss wasn't constantly complaining about me. You know, when you do a good job and when you care about the boss, when you care about the business, man, I'll tell you, I have, since I got there, cared for the business. I've done my job. I've stayed consistent with it. I showed up on time. And I don't think I've had him. My job most of the time is to wash dishes. Because, for him, he says, yeah, I get it. He told me, you can be a cook. My boss, he's the only cook. It's a small kitchen, right? So he can cook everything by himself. He's been doing it for 23 years. It's easier. He doesn't have to go and train somebody all over again, come and cook with me, right? So he can just cook by himself. And I've asked him before, can I come and cook with you? And he said, you can. But here's the thing. Why would I hire another person to do your job when you're available to do that job, right? If he does cooking by himself, yeah, maybe it's a little bit slower, but also because he knows he can do it properly. He knows if he makes a mistake, he can get out of that really fast and figure it out. And that my job is to wash dishes. My job is not to cook. And so when I asked him, can you hire someone else to do dishes? He was like, but it's more money for me. Why would I waste money on something I don't need? I have one, two, I think we have like 4 people working in this restaurant. 4 people. I'm the dishwasher. We have the cook and the bartender and the waitress. And that's it. 4 people working in the whole restaurant. Now, that's the way he likes it, though. He likes it to be simple. Everybody has their job. Don't make it difficult for everyone, right? Everyone has a job. Everyone does it properly. Everyone cares about each other. And when I come in knowing, man, I'm going to go into work and we're going to joke around, we're going to laugh, I actually start to love work. When I go back to work, I know I can be happy. I know I can make food. I know we can joke, we can laugh, we can have a good time at work instead of making it really negative. I've come into different jobs so many times and they were like, oh, the boss was saying, I wish I could just go home. I'm tired. I don't want to be here. When the boss is following that kind of negative attitude, do you know how much harder it is for the employees to follow that attitude, to follow a positive attitude? Of course, they're going to go with the side of they're going to follow the boss's example, right? If the boss is complaining, so can I. If the boss doesn't care, so can I, right? And that's the best thing we can do is have the example of focus on the eyes of a business of the owner instead of the eyes of an employee. An employee, they're focusing on how much money can I take home. The owner is focusing on how much money can I put back into the business. All right. Well, that being said, I've talked a lot about this. And I think it's really important. I really focus on my channel being genuine, and I don't want to fake you guys and say, hey, I need subscribers, I need likes. I would actually rather you guys learn something in the end than for me to get subscribers or likes. What is the stream about? I'm actually just now finishing the stream, and I was talking about how to have a consistent life in work as well as YouTube, being a YouTuber. But that being said, if you guys want me to come back and do another stream about this, I know one of you might have missed the stream. If you guys want me to come back and do a part 2 on the stream, yeah, maybe consider doing a like. Just that way I know that's what you guys want. I can do a part 2 to this. Yeah, I'll do a part 2 if you guys want to. I do remember you, but I am going to leave from here because the live stream is over. I will see you guys all in the next live stream tomorrow. If you guys want me to do a part 2 version, like, and that's all. All right, see you guys. Bye.